Hello, good day, beautiful people. I am the Inspirational Lady Noble 365 Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you'll love this vibe. And everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This could be past, present, or future, you or someone around you. So take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. If you like a personal read, check out the description below. So I'll be happy to assist you with doing so. Keep in mind that tarot is a tool. It is not the final rule. So it's a good idea to have an empty cup when you are on Lady Noble's channel and you really, 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 really want to see what's up, okay? Today, I received a download, and before we tap into the tarot, Spirit wants me to share this message with you, okay? All right. And so I was doing some cleaning, getting some things in order, throwing away some things I don't want that I want to get rid of. And I found some great inspiration and I received a download right behind it. And the message is, it's what's on the inside that counts. Now, I know you've heard this repetitively, possibly throughout your entire life, but it really does matter, what's on the inside of you, of us all individually. That's what matters the most, and that is what counts. People often assume, and I have shared in a lot of readings, that just because you have a particular thought about a person, maybe you have a negative thought about a person. It could be negative projection. It could be you hoping or wishing, or someone hoping or wishing for you, collective, maybe to have a not so positive outcome, or just projecting negative energy. People feel that if they don't say it or it's not spoken, that no one knows about it. But the truth is that it can still impact you. And I've shared this on many readings, collective. It can still impact you. And this applies to everyone. But Spirit put this on my heart, and gave me this download to share it with you. And it's not about what religion you believe in. It's not about where you from, and oh, that's not true. Just because you don't believe something is true or it's not possible doesn't mean it's not taking place. Okay, so what's on the inside is what counts the most. Whether you are above soil, meaning you're living, or when you transition, when you what's on the inside always will be either remembered or spoken about. So basically, whether you are alive or someone has transitioned, what's on the inside will always be spoken about, because thoughts become things. You are likely to take an action based on a thought or a theory, and this can apply to many areas of your life. What's on the inside will always be the part of you that requires the most attention, collective. This is done through healing work, forgiveness, and I must stop with forgiveness again. When I speak of forgiveness on my channel, Spirit wants me to always remind people to forgive someone does not mean you give them access back into your life. You can forgive a person without them being physically present in front of you. You can do this personally between you and the divine, or you and source, and you can choose to surrender the impact of whatever it is that you have experienced that has left a negative imprint on your life or on your soul. Okay. Working on self-awareness, is another way, to work on the inner you. Enhancing, excuse me, enhancing your health or your well-being is another way to work on you. Okay. So what's on the inside will always matter, will always count, and there are many who also believe not only that if they don't say it, it won't be impactful, but it will. There are people who feel like, well, if it's on the inside, nobody knows. If it's on the inside, no one would ever see. Well, in reality, whatever is going on with us on the inside will always reflect in our daily lives personally. And this applies to all. It can reflect and show itself in many ways. How we interact with people, how we communicate with people, how we respond to situations that we are not in agreement with, how we respond and treat people who do not look like us, who do not have the same belief system as we do, etc., etc. So there are many ways to work on the inner you. We all have free will, okay? And there are many things that I have not even mentioned. But the message is to be mindful that what's on the inside really counts, okay? It really counts. It counts more than you could ever think or imagine. And I went past a card deck that I purchased and I rarely use when I received this download, and it is a card deck that has different pictures of the human anatomy. So what's on the inside, it does count. It really counts in more ways than you could imagine. There are many, like I said, there are people who are under the impression that what's on the inside, no one will see, no one knows. Well, like they say, if it don't come out in the wash, it'll come out in a rinse. Either way, what's truly going on with you on the inside, how you feel about people, how you relate to people who are indifferent from you, it will show, how you respond in different environments, how articulate you are, your relationships that you have, whether this is with your family, with your children, or with your spouse. It will always show itself. Now, we are all on different levels, and we're supposed to be. This doesn't mean that anyone is better than anyone. It means that we are all on different timelines. Everyone will not step into their awareness at this time. Some people will get it next lifetime, and some will get it now. And it's okay. It's not a race. It's not a competition. And so many also assume, I need to title this read Assumptions. Many also assume that people aren't aware of maybe when you could be maybe from a home that does not have harmony or love in it. People can see these things and recognize these things. Spirit is saying to be mindful, collective. Don't assume that people don't recognize what's in front of them, or people don't recognize what you are possibly hiding, running from, or afraid of. Don't assume that when you are interacting with people in general in life, that people are not aware of what you are dealing with behind closed doors. You can tell if a person, is loved. You can tell if a person a lot of times is being mistreated. Often those people who are in homes that are dysfunctional, or they are from an upbringing with a lot of dysfunction, if they don't choose to do the work, which is separating themselves, from the toxicity or the toxic family or group of people, they will often move on to continue the pattern, hurt people. So Spirit is saying it's always a good idea to find one thing that you want to work on. Once again, it's not a race, it's not a competition, and work on that. If it's something someone you need to forgive, you need to work on that. If you're blaming yourself or you're your own worst critic, you need to work on that. If it's self-confidence that is keeping you hindered or stopping you from living your best life, you need to work on that. If there's any kind of imbalance or insecurity, something nigging at you and bothering you, and maybe you've been carrying this for a long time, the inside is what matters the most, because it will reflect. What I'm naming is ways that it will reflect. Okay. A good example would be maybe growing up in a household, or even from your childhood throughout your adulthood. Maybe you've had family around you that you could not trust. Maybe you had family who were five fingers, sticky fingers. They were kleptos, thieves. And because of your upbringing and what you have been through and what you have experienced and observed, you could move forward in your path, but you may not trust people. And it's not because everyone is bad or everyone is terrible. It could be that your mind is still stuck and placent on, the theft or the thieves in your family. It happens. Everyone has different families. It's nothing to be ashamed of. There are also families, which is a touchy subject, who are inappropriate. You know, you could be someone who has been through some kind of um, situation where someone was inappropriate with you, collective. I have to be mindful of my words. And they were handsy with you. I call it being handsy with you. And this could be something that you carried with you because maybe your family didn't want to talk about it. This topic of what I'm speaking of, especially when there are families who have a pattern or, of being inappropriate with minors or those who are underage. Often, a lot of families, they don't want to talk about it. They want to sweep it under the rug. If you're someone to be vocal about it, they maybe not talk to you anymore. Try to like disown you kind of energy. Often, there's a lot of families who know about it, who are aware. There are some who will step in and protect their child and defend their child, but there are a lot of people who have dealt with those kind of situations and they don't heal from it. They carry it with them. And hurt people hurt people. So that's just one of the topics that this reading and this message is about. But it's very important to work on the inner. We're so concerned with the outside, the aesthetics of what something looks like, the beauty of what something looks like. But we don't want to roam about on planet Earth as dressed up garbage cans. Yeah, I said dressed up garbage cans. Metaphorically speaking, that's what's coming through. You don't want to, everything is pretty and prissy on the outside and feeling like, okay, well, I keep my hair and nails done. I drive a nice car. I wear the latest brands, Yeah, everything is okay. Life is perfect. When in reality, you're spiritually disheveled and broken on the inside. And you're carrying some kind of pain or burden with you that needs to be healed. You don't have to forget, but needs to be healed so that you can take that energy and not carry it with you. Especially, if you're a victim of something that was out of your control. It's unfair for anyone to have to carry that. And they're having me stay focused on this topic, which is very sensitive for many. Because there are families, once again, who wants to sweep this topic under the rug. A person may get offended if they click on this video and hear this. It may remind them, or hopefully they weren't the one who was inappropriate. If you need help, seek help. If you know you have a problem in any area of your life, doesn't matter what your age is. It's never too late. You're never too old to do the work, to do the forgiving, to move forward. The best thing you can do, I'm pretty sure, no matter who you are, you at least want a little bit of happiness and relief while you're here on planet Earth. No one wants to be here. Life is not perfect for no one, but no one wants to spend their life suffering, being miserable, pretending, putting on that fake smile and holding so much pain, behind that smile. There's so much that comes behind a smile. Everyone is not bad or wicked. This is not what the message is. But it's so important to work on your inner. We are too concerned with the aesthetics, the outer. Even when you could be someone seeking to date. You want to get on a dating scene. There's nothing wrong with that. We're concerned with aesthetics and what somebody look like. Those things will change and fade, male or female, doesn't matter who you are. We're all beautiful and handsome, but there's going to be some adjustments as you move forward and you have birthdays. There's going to be some things that are going to be adjusted, okay? Whether it's a gray hair, whether your smile is changing, it's natural. It is a natural thing. So the moral of that, and why I haven't touched the tarot card yet, there's too much of our attention being misappropriated in the wrong areas. And so Spirit is saying it's time to really focus on the inside of you, the inner you. How are you mentally in this moment while you're seeing this message? How are you mentally? Are you angry at what you're hearing, or are you able to? Are you someone who's able to receive instructive criticism? Okay, because this is a channel message. This is not me personally trying to throw shots at anyone. It's no coincidence that you're hearing this message. It's confirmation to address it, and to address things. Confirmation again. Look at spirit. This doesn't mean fronting anybody off. This doesn't mean being confrontational. This means actually seeking maybe a licensed psychiatrist or therapist to speak to, or someone who you can trust, a life coach of, but someone who's a professional who can help you and show you the way. There's a lot of baggage that's being carried, and it's not yours to carry. It's not yours to carry. So be fair to yourself, spirit is saying. Okay. Yeah, so this is about having the strength to acknowledge what needs to be changed and adjusted in your life. It could be finances. It's not what we don't have, it's what we need to recognize that we all got it. Sometimes we over circulate, sometimes, you could be a shopaholic. This could be something you need to admit to. Okay. I just got through organizing, throwing out some things, and I'm like, wow. Okay. Yeah, organizing, cleaning. I'm like, oh, I remember I bought this, but I never used it. I remember I bought this, but I never used it. Okay. So you could be someone who needs to work on that, maybe over circulating, or buying too many items, or, working on decluttering as well. That is a wonderful thing. I came to this download through doing some housework, through decluttering, through getting rid of stuff I don't want. And so it's time to have the strength and be brave. No more being overly concerned about the opinions of others, what people think, what they're saying about you. It's time for us all to work on the inner side of us. You could be someone who wants to work on your well-being or your health. Maybe you're saying, you want to make some changes. Go for it. You don't need permission for that. The inner really does count, especially if you want to have longevity and you want to enjoy your time while you're here on planet Earth. No one wants to be in a situation, if you need assistance, I understand it, I get it, but no one, if you can avoid being in a situation where you have to rely on others, you don't want to be in that situation. So maybe your spirit is calling you to make some changes. So with strength being here, you could have Leo placement somewhere in your chart, sun, moon, or rising, but it's calling for you to be strong, and as she's holding that kitten there, and those roses there, it's representing those roses. I'm thinking of the ancestors as I'm looking at these flowers. So, your spirit team and your ancestors could be trying to nudge you through this message, as well as the pretty flowers that are in her hair there, to, feel free, be brave. And it's different for everybody. This topic here, only you know what you want to change in your life. Only you know in this moment what you want to maybe get rid of, stop doing, maybe overspending, change the eating habit, hit the gym, maybe stop hanging around certain people. You could be somebody like, what, I need to change something. What, I ain't going over their house no more, or I ain't accepting no invite. And this doesn't mean fronting anybody off. This does not mean being confrontational. This means for you to acknowledge what needs to be done and simply take action. Okay, take action like the Two of Wands. Okay, I wouldn't be shocked if it come out here, because the goal is, like I said, no matter who you are, I'm pretty sure you want to experience happiness or bliss. Now, happiness and success, if you ask 10 people in a room, what is their definition of happiness and success? It will be different for everyone. So I'm pretty sure you want the 10 of Pentacles. Maybe you want more harmony in your relationship. Maybe you are around people, where there's constant friction. This could be in your home. This could be with your children. And you desire to have a home with more harmony. I'm not speaking of anything being perfect. We're not talking about that. There's no such thing as perfect, but you can always make things better, collective. There's always room, and plenty of space to enhance your experience here on planet Earth. So that's what this reading is about, enhancing your life by doing the inner work. You know, we can go get our hair done, our nails done, buy new clothes, new house, new car. But what does your heart feel like? What do you feel like when you wake up every day? Do you feel love? Who's caring for you? Are you receiving as much as you're giving? Do you feel drained? What are your relationships like? Are they conditional connections? Are you only connected to these people under certain conditions? It could be that's your smoke buddy, your drink buddy. Well, if you were to stop smoking and drinking today, would that still be your friend? Would your sobriety or your newness start to irritate that person? Would they start to call you arrogant? Are you ready to change some things, but it may cause you to change some people and circumstances in your life, is what Spirit is saying. So what are the conditions of the relationships that you have? There are people who say, oh, I got a lot of friends, I'm well known. Or a person say they are well known. Are they well known, or are these connections under certain conditions? Are these conditional connections? Like, are these really your friends? How many people have called you and checked up on you? How many people call you on the regular and ask you, do you need anything, without asking for something in return? How many people call you and send you well wishes? And I'm not talking about something that you were instructed to do, maybe through a social group, something done naturally from someone's heart, not being instructed. Hey, I want you to do, no, 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 no. Someone actually naturally calling to check on you, or sending you a text message with an uplifting message, or a Bible verse, or anything uplifting or inspiring. If you are in friendships, or you're socializing with people whom you only link up with when you're doing a certain thing, confirmation, this is something to consider and reflect. If you are only connecting with people according to a certain hobby, this is something to consider or reflect on. Because that means that connection is under particular conditions. That's not a friendship. And whatever you have in common with that person, like I just used sobriety, someone's working on their sobriety. Congratulations, whoever you are. You're working on it, you're fighting through it, keep going. And maybe you are being talked about. Maybe they are saying you're uppity or you're funny acting. Well, that's why they tell you, when you go to a support group, they speak about changing your environment. And people will change their environment, not because they're afraid that they're going to use. That's one of the reasons, because you don't want to deal with friction of the old you. And it makes sense to change your environment and who you hang around, because if you only had in common getting blasted or loaded, getting high with someone, and you no longer participate, there's no reason to be in the presence of each other any longer. There's no reason to even interact with each other. Like, it makes a lot of sense. You could be someone who needs to work on your mental. Stop assuming that everyone is trying to attack you. And you're becoming so frustrated, that you're lowering your vibration every time you get angry. And you're assuming that someone's trying to attack you. You could be someone who wants to work on that, or you may realize that, I need to stop going to 0 to 100. I need to stop. Because in reality, that, I go to 0 to 100 real quick. I turn up, but you're not affecting anyone but yourself. People feel and think because they're vocal. No, what you put out comes back to you. You're only affecting yourself. You're blocking yourself. You're hindering yourself. And if you are that kind of person that has to turn up and I don't get by, that kind of energy, you'd be surprised how many people who could be observing you, who may want to bless you with an opportunity, but if they see how you carry yourself, they're likely to say, that person isn't ready. Now, that could be someone you know. You may be listening to this read because the things I'm naming are some people that you know. So tell them to click on like, share, and subscribe. I'm pretty sure they'll love the vibe. Mm-hmm. So there's something there about that, about attitude, demeanor, being toxic. Um, Spirits say problematic, being confrontational, being hostile or angry, constantly, like on a daily. What Cat Williams say is just bacon. you know, this is the energy of someone who just wake up mad, and you're like, what's wrong? And every time you say what's wrong, they really let you know what's wrong, and you just be looking like, what? That kind of energy. People feel that because they're angry, they can make a ripple effect in someone else's life. But in reality, you're just self-inflicting yourself. You're hurting yourself, and those kind of people are the ones that folks don't want to be around. And I'm going to say it, some people hate to see you coming because they know you're going to be negative. They know that you are an it starter. They know that you are it starter. You're going to be negative and you're toxic. And there are people who aren't with that energy. When you're developing, when you're young, like they say with the toddler, when you're a toddler, that's when they're a sponge. Children learn a lot when they're a sponge, right? When they're young, right? But as you move forward and you experience all these things, you will get to a point, if you're really working on yourself, where you want your peace. Your peace is everything. And you will learn that if you don't have peace, you have nothing. You have nothing at all. So if you are someone who's toxic, always confrontational, likely to show up to the family gathering, flip tables over, start a food fight, argue over the last beer, you ain't put in on this kind of energy, there are people who hate to see you coming because the toxic energy, it's not fun, it's not healthy, and it ruins everything. And people aren't going to tell you this. Some of them out of sympathy, that's our family. Some people feel they have to tolerate you. But it's time out. Spirit is saying it's time out. It's time to work on that. That anger, that hostility, whatever you're mad about, it's time to work on that. And stop feeling like every time somebody says something, they're attacking you. That says that there's something mental going on, and you really need to seek help. That's not to insult. This is the message. It's the inside that matters. It's the inside that matters, collective. All day, every day. It will always be talked about. What you did, how you contribute, memories of you. Every action you take is connected to something from the inside, the inner you, whether it's negative or positive. So that's why it's important to work on the inner you. It's important to cleanse, to recalibrate your energy, to forgive, to heal. It's important to surrender. It's important to do these things, forgiveness. It's important to pivot in another direction when you're being led to do so. It's important to let unhealthy connections go if you're led to do so, if you are led to do so. It's important to not overstay your welcome in any connection. Two tens here. This is representing completion and renewal in the end of cycle. So Spirit is saying this is the end of spending your daily, or if this is not your energy, maybe this is someone a family member, a friend, okay, who's always, there are some things they need to change. But both of these tens here, these are two beautiful positive cards. But both of these tens are also indicating that it's time for a new cycle. It's time for a new mindset. It's time for a new approach, new people to hang around. It's time to go ahead and utilize those new ideas you have and stop pushing them to the back of your mind saying, no, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, you want to go cook what? Okay, let's try it. Yeah, let's do it. You want to go where? You want to take a vacation? Okay, yeah, let's do it. With proper preparation, but stop pushing those good ideas to the back. And the time is now. Where the time is now, Morpheus. Oh boy. Yeah, so we have the Five of Swords here, and the Five of Swords is conflict and indecision. No need to be in indecision about how to move forward. You're receiving confirmation in this moment, right now, through this read, to go ahead. And it's different for everyone. You know what that thing is that you want to change. And it's okay to make a mistake and maybe fall off track and dust your shoulders off and get back. Get back on the track. Keep on trucking. Okay? Keep on trucking, baby. And this will lead you to your leadership. And when I say leadership, I'm talking about you being the leader of your life. You taking full responsibility and control of the life that you desire to experience. The more you work on yourself, the more you work on progressing. And it's one day at a time, collective, one thing at a time. There is nothing for you to fear. There is nothing to be anxious about. And there is no one to compete with but one person. You're going to compete with one person, and that's who you were yesterday. Whoever you were yesterday, you're going to compete with that person. You're going to let them know they can't have you no more. You're moving forward. Look, I'm stepping into my power. I'm living my best life. I'm making preparation to pivot in a direction that is for my highest good. No more small talk. No more small talk. We're not allowing our ego. We're not allowing those 100, as I was speaking of yesterday, 101 inferior thoughts to pop up in our head and tell us what we can't do and tell us we're not loved or you're not beautiful or you don't look good. That's just a bunch of, that's not even you. It's an illusion. It's a trick. It's a game, collective. It's a game. So, if you're someone who feels that when you're moving forward, maybe something is pulling on your energy or some kind of doubt creeps in and you don't know why, that's just the ego. That's the old you. I call it the residue. Yes, I call it the residue collective. That's the old you trying to pull you back. Like, oh, they going forward? Let me pull them back. You don't need to go to the gym. Let's go lay down. That kind of energy, You don't need to go study. Let's go to that party. You don't need to save that money. Let's go shopping. You see, that's the residue dude wanting to pull you back. The old you is aware. Whenever you work on progressing, the old you spiritually and consciously is aware that something different is happening. I'll leave it right there. It knows that spirit knows that something is happening and it's out of our comfort zone. So, okay, let me get them a whole bunch of negative stuff to think about. Let me throw a bunch of hypotheticals up there. Let me tell them why they can't do it. That kind of energy. Let me tell them they're not beautiful. Let me tell them they don't look good in that outfit. You know what? They were supposed to be at that party 2 hours ago. Let me make them go in the house and keep changing their clothes. Be confident. That didn't just come up for no reason. Be confident. Male or female, be confident. You are enough. You are enough. You've always been enough. And if you've ever been in the presence of someone telling you that you're not, you were just around the wrong people. See, unfamiliar territory is just that, unfamiliar. If you've ever been told you were not enough, you were around the wrong people. And I don't care if it was your husband, your wife, your family, whomever it was to you. You were around the wrong people. Unfamiliar territory is just that. It's unfamiliar. So if someone has never been around greatness, they don't know what great is. If someone doesn't know what beauty is, especially natural beauty, they don't know what beauty is. That's for someone who's been receiving a lot of pushback from their environment. Or maybe these could have been things that were said to you in your more youthful years, and you've never forgotten about them, and it plays out in your mind. When you're putting on your clothes or your makeup, or guys, when you're getting a haircut, or maybe you want to wear a certain pair of shorts, so you want to put that muscle shirt on or that tank top on, and you in the mirror, you done turned 20, 30 times feeling like you're not enough, and you actually are. It's important to always work on the inner. It's always important. It's always important. It'll never change. You can ignore it. You can disregard it, but you'll always get what you always got. Take time to just love yourself today. Take time. with the rose quartz. Take with the rose quartz. Take time to love yourself today. Be kind to yourself. Do things that feed your soul. Do things that feed your spirit. Nothing less than the best. Anyone that's not supportive of you, well, you know not to deal with that person. Anything that doesn't make you feel happy or confident, it's not for you. Like, seriously, you have to love yourself that much where you're no longer allowing people to take up time and space and take up your energy, and they really don't deserve to be in your presence. They don't deserve. A lot of people don't even deserve to be around you, don't deserve to speak to you or talk to you. See, we got it twisted. Everything here on planet Earth is upside down. You know, what you think you know, you don't know. So the process of the unlearning happens repetitively for everyone. It'll keep happening. You'll keep learning when you're self-invested and you're allowing yourself to be self-aware. You will constantly go through a lot of sessions of unlearning. You know, a lot of truth and a lot of enlightenment will come to you. You know, people feel, you know, if they're receiving a compliment or everybody's clapping for them, that's the thing to do. You know, if it's trendy, that's the thing to do. But in actuality, you know, when they roam, be still. When they are still is a good time for you to roam. You know, everything is actually upside, reversed, and upside down. Flip it, reverse it. It's not what you think, but because over time we have been programmed to think and feel that what's trendy is the way we should go. And this applies to all things: culture, religion, how we dress, where we live, what we drive, what we say, what kind of music we listen to. I mean, we have found different ways to be very critical of ourselves and of other people, of each other, period. Worldwide. Worldwide. If someone shows up different, people want to talk about that. They want to know, why are you so different? You know? So, yeah. Me, myself, I don't believe in trends. I believe in doing everything that they ain't doing. Yeah. Yeah. I believe in showing up in plaid and polka dot and mixing them together. I believe in doing everything that they ain't doing. Because what's trendy is not popping. Uniqueness, being different, being yourself. That's what stands out the most. And it ain't got to be plaid or polka dot. It might be something else that you like. But living your best life is being yourself authentically and wholeheartedly, and not being concerned about people outside of you, what somebody is saying, what somebody's going to think, and what they're talking about, and this don't look right, and you have to really stay in your lane. Really have to financially stay in your lane. You have to be honest with yourself. I'm all about abundance and prosperity, but you have to be honest with yourself. You have to do what you know you can do and not complain while you're doing it. Do what you know you can do what's necessary, and not complain while you're doing it. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses or the Smiths at all, because the Joneses or the Smiths may have debt past their neck. They could be chasing their tail. You may like what's glitter and gold, but that thing that's glitter and gold may come with obligations and responsibilities that are beyond what you want to deal with. Now, a real person, I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna say a real person. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that'll back me up on that. I'm pretty sure there are some millionaires and billionaires saying, she's right. You think you want this responsibility. You think you want this and that. Be grateful. You can always reach for the stars. You can always desire to have more. You can obtain a particular lifestyle. But don't be so focused on you must have what's cool and what's hot. We've already more than once been given the truth of everything that you thought was hot is fake. So no more talk. Nobody should be battling over whether or not, I can't say the brand, You got a real belt or not? I ain't gonna say no brands. You got a real purse or not? You know, nobody should be battling. Let people be people. Let folks express their individuality. That's a rare thing. Expressing a person expressing their individuality and being confident doing so. That's a rare thing. The Six of Pentacles. Make sure that the relationships, are equal give and take. You see the scales there. Make sure you're only interacting and entangling with connections that are fair, that has reciprocity. No more one-sided connection. Spirit is saying you can have all the friends and associates you want, but be mindful, be honest with yourself. See, only you know these things. If that's just your buddy that just party with you or get wasted with you, is that really your buddy? Under what circumstances? And what else do y'all do outside of that? That's healthy and for your highest good. Ooh. Because you got to balance it out. You see the scales? Yeah, you can party, but what else do you and that friend do that's healthy and for your highest good? I'll wait. Oh, I bet not, because I got to exhale. I bet not. I have to exhale at some point. And that's a topic that could be challenging for people. The phrase and the joke, you want the truth, you can't handle the truth, is so real, and it applies to everyone. It does. It applies to everyone. Like, do you really want the truth? Can you handle the truth? And how does the truth make you feel? There are people who go through involuntarily go through a process of unlearning and become frustrated and angry. But because they've been doing it for so many years, they continue to stay in the program. And then they want to side eye, roll their eyes, or get a fisheye to the other person who chose to not be in the program. And that applies to many things. That came up in the read yesterday. The same folks that's calling everything a conspiracy theory is the same folks is scratching their head and sitting somewhere and reminiscing on a conversation that you may have had with them in the past, or recent past. Maybe you tried to pull someone's coattail or give them some information, not force, not teach, but you shared some vital information, and maybe you were shunned for it. You were called this, you were called that. Those same people, they want to knock on your door. They want to call you. Hey, remember that conversation you was trying to... No. It's a conspiracy theory. Remember, it is not real. It is not true. Folks become very angry, and it's okay. They can be angry, but only with themselves. Yeah. So there could be someone, we were talking about mindset, who's very, who needs to change that. Maybe being critical of others. Maybe, with the Three of Wands, we know this is growth, creativity, and self-expression. But you see how he's looking at this beautiful crystal. It could be an amethyst, I'm just assuming, but it may not. Crystals and stones come in multiple colors. They don't just come in one layer, and they are from planet Earth. And crystals are not evil either. They come from the earth, the one you walk on, okay? So either way, the way that he's studying this crystal here, this could be, this represents self-expression, someone being critical maybe of you, or maybe this is you being critical of someone, observing them because they don't look like you, metaphorically speaking. They don't do what you do. They don't walk like you, talk like you. But because they're not moving like you, you're choosing to observe them like they're a science project. But it comes to pass to find out that the ones in the world who receive the ridicule, the slander, language, I ain't gonna say that, turned out to be the ones who were just simply expressing what they know. Now, it's not their fault that what they shared came out and is coming out to be true in front of the world right now as we're living and speaking. And on this timeline, a lot of truths are being revealed. But there are folks who are mad about that. And these are the people who are and were part of the program. They chose to drink the Kool-Aid that was given to them. They thought because, grape and lemon is good, we're going to go with the Kool-Aid. And there were many saying, I ain't drinking that. I know that there's more. And so because we have free will, Spirit is saying we need to work on the inner, especially when it comes to our mind and our hearts, keeping it in alignment. That no one has to be who we are. No one has to be like us, look like us, dress like us, talk like us. It's okay for us to be different. It's okay to stand out, and if you're someone watching and maybe you have people making you feel like it's a problem, those aren't your people, them the wrong people. Be you, be yourself, okay? So no one, especially if you're claiming to be connected to the divine, should be treating people or looking at people like they are a science project. God is in all things. And who says that this, how do you know that the same person you're judging was not strategically put in your path to test you and see how you would treat them? How do you know that source, divine, God, Christ? How do you know that this person is not sent through the divine to test you, to see if you're going to treat them the way you want to be treated, or are you going to ridicule them? Are you going to condemn them? Are you going to belittle this person? Are you going to antagonize? Are you going to try to sabotage their energy by maybe throwing shots at them or being sarcastic whenever you're in their presence? This happens on a daily, collective. Because if you're someone who goes to the cathedral and your Bible thumping verses and you claim to be connected, this is what you say. You say you are connected, but you're treating people, and when I say treating people, through how you look at them and how you judge them. You see how you look at that beautiful crystal? Like, a rare one. Purple. A rare one. Now, I've seen rocks, but a purple one? There is something about the whole idea of you being adventurous, you being brave, you being curious and enthusiastic about life, no matter how much judgment you receive. Spirit is saying, let it be. Let it be. Be inspired and encouraged to never dim your light, but continue to work on the inner you. There's no one to compete with but who you were yesterday. So there's no need to compete with anyone outside of you. We're making sure that we're doing our own inventory. We are making sure that we're doing our own inventory. And that process is different for everyone. No two humans are alike. No two humans are alike, inside and out. That's why it's not a good idea to imitate and duplicate the lives of another. We're not alike. What's for one may not be for the next person, but it is up to you individually to figure that out. And it's not hard to do. Just ask and you will receive. Like, for real. The answer will come. And it can come from a total stranger, somebody that don't even know you. It's no coincidence that a stranger is mentioning things that resonate. It could be a phrase, a word, anything. They're mentioning things you've been thinking about or things that's been on your mind or your heart. It's not a coincidence. Coincidence doesn't exist. It's confirmation. It's like snippets or breadcrumbs of, how can I say this? Breadcrumbs of clues leading you to a path, which is you and your path, your mission. So being mindful with the Three of Pentacles of who you choose to gather with. Being mindful. And let people stare. Let them look when you walk up, when you come up. It's not always a bad thing either. They're giving me this for somebody. Take what resonates, leave the rest. There's a lot of times people admire what they see. And they may not say it because some people don't know how to say it. So that's not nothing negative. That's not nefarious. Sometimes people like what they see, or you can have on a nice shirt, nice hat, or nice hair. It could be anything. Sometimes people really just want to compliment you, but they do it inside their head and by staring at you. I know it's weird, but it is what it is. Okay. So with the Nine of Pentacles, we know the Nine of Pentacles is abundance, security, and comfort. And everyone wants to manifest and receive this and maintain it. But in order to maintain it, you got to start with the inside. In order to receive it, you got to start with the inside. But in order to maintain it, once it's in your possession, you see all those pentacles. They're on the counter. They're in the drawer. They're in the cabinet. They're everywhere. So it can be given to you. You can obtain this. This could be you. But how are you going to maintain it? You got to work on the inner you, your thoughts, your vibration, your frequency, your energy, how you move in life. In order to maintain it and keep it increasing, you have to have some discipline. Just like in the gym, you got to have discipline. You got to have discipline financially. You got to have willpower and structure. So a person that has willpower and structure, they're working on the inner them, and it's being done consistently. They're all about the Benjis, the coins. They're all about it. And so, this is something that everybody desire, and this is not to call you broke. Maybe you want more, okay? Or you're looking for ways to enhance what you have, expand what you have. With something about the mind and the heart being in alignment here. The mind and the heart. And I see a snail here on this cabinet. Maybe you feel it's coming, but it's coming in slow. Spirit is saying, look, be patient. Don't allow that motion of slowness to keep you frazzled or to derail you from your mission. Stay focused. Stay in the lab. Stay working. Stay busy on what makes you happy. If you're looking for something to come rapidly, that's something you're not looking to be around for a long time, Spirit is saying. If you're looking for it to come like right now, that means you don't want to stick around for a while. And we got the Ten of Pentacles and Ten of Cups out here and the Nine of Pentacles. That's a juicy read to me. I would claim this for myself if I was you. More Pentacles. Okay, collective, y'all got that money on. You ain't got to show off like this. You do not got to show off like this. Y'all do not have to show off like this. Look at that. Pentacles, 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 Pentacles. So you're determined to receive new opportunities, or this has been on your mind. Spirit is saying, sure, we support that. But do the prerequisites. Whatever needs to be changed, change that. If you're overspending, circulating, do that. Be mindful. Make a list when you go to the store. Maybe you're someone who forgets, because that can happen. You'll say, okay, I'm about to go in here. I'm getting this. And you come out, you got 50, 60 items. You got all kind of bags. Your plan was to go in and come out with one bag, but you might get 10, 15. Make a list. Make a list. And I used to wonder, I used to see people with a list in the store, and I used to wonder why they got a list. I get it. I get it. It keeps you on track, and you will constantly pick that list up, and you'll be, okay, I got that. Okay, I got that. And you'll stick to that list. It really helps. It really helps. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's all about you protecting your peace and your wellness. Not so much against others, but when you work on the inner, you won't feel you have enemies on the outer, because you'll learn how to navigate, how to move, how to preserve, and how to protect yourself. Collective, when you're working on the inner, you won't feel like you have to protect yourself from the outer people, places, and things outside of you. Because when you're working on the inner, you're in alignment. You're healing, you're releasing, you're recalibrating that energy, constantly putting it in rotation, constantly doing the work. And Spirit is saying that it's the little things, the little bitty things. It's nothing major that needs to be done. There's Spirit saying it's the little bitty things that can assist you with working on the inner, starting with your thoughts. So maybe you are someone who feels that, once again, that everyone is against you, or they're talking about you. And no, that means you need to work on your confidence. And whatever someone said to you when you were 10 years old, 12 years old, that needs to be rid of. The past is gone. We can't get it back, no matter how much we remember it. So will you allow the negative imprints from your past to go with you as you move forward and hold you back and hinder you from having healthy connections, healthy relationships with harmony, laughter, bliss, enjoying the presence of another person? It doesn't have to be romantic. It can just be a friendship, a platonic, whatever. Someone just to go catch a movie or a concert with, or, really. You don't have to be on guard. Don't be oblivious. Pay attention to your intuition. But see, when you're working on the inner, all that comes together on its own, because when you work on one thing, it takes a domino effect in your life personally in a positive way. And you're not going to feel forced. You're not going to feel any anxiety. You're not going to feel any fear. It's going to naturally pivot you in one direction. In another, not one, excuse me, in another direction that's for your highest good. A good example of this would be Googling something, collective. Googling anything. And if you scroll down, you'll always see the little arrows with other things that's like in that category. So that's a good idea of when you're working on the inner work of yourself, aligning yourself, your mind and your heart, and stepping into self-awareness. Working on one thing will lead you, taking a domino effect, to another thing, slowly but surely. And before you know it, you've been looked up and you have a list. You're like, wow. And you'll be proud of yourself. I done did that. I'm so happy I ain't who I used to be. Real talk. Mm-hmm. So this message is for people or someone who is interested in seeing some results, some different results in their life. Someone could be bored. Maybe you feel bored with the day-to-day mundane people, places, and things. Conversations is boring you. You're feeling irritated, agitated, and you just want to bust out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is you manifesting and saying passionate about things that inspire you. But that can only be done working on the inner. Everything is coming back to it. Yeah, working on the inner. And there are many people, trust and believe, who move forward in their life, who you may feel like they're successful. They could live in a mansion, have 10 cars, and whatever. And everything on the outer looks good. But guess what? The inside be a whole mess. Yeah, I got dressed up garbage can as that analogy. I know that's a hell of a one, but that's what I got, a dressed up garbage can. We know in a garbage can we put things in there we don't want. But I'm seeing a garbage can dressed up like fancy, maybe with a pretty fabric or cloth over it. But up under it, if you pull the cloth back, there's garbage in there. Metaphorically speaking, that's that unhealing that needs to be done, working on the confidence, lack of confidence, that lack mentality, always speaking negative, thinking negative, and then you're manifesting that energy into your life, and you're staying on a hamster wheel, moving fast, going nowhere, and you're looking at other people and becoming angry and wondering, when am I, why? It's because you're manifesting this into your own life by avoiding doing the inner work. So it's time to come out of conflict with yourself. There's no one to compete with, once again, but who you were yesterday. Come out of conflict with yourself. There's nobody after you trying to harm you or attack you. And all that you desire is fully possible. You're capable and able to obtain the life you desire. Yeah. There's nothing there. Spirit saying there's nothing stopping you. Because when you're working on the inner, you don't care about what people outside of you are saying. As a matter of fact, you're not focused on it. It's really none of your business, and it gets none of your time. It gets none of your attention. So you learn to keep showing up as your true, authentic self, and you don't allow anyone to waver you from that. Back to the polka dots and plaid. If you want to show up wearing polka dot and plaid every day, you wear that ish every day. And who cares about the stares? Who cares about the people who's going to turn and look at you and, do you see what they got on? Do you see? Yeah. They're seeing how brave and courageous you are. Let them laugh. Let them talk. Let them huddle. Mm-hmm. 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 Yes, collective. Mm-hmm. So with the moon energy here, Spirit is saying you don't have to wait any longer. You may have felt for many years. You could be someone, and it's okay. People have different experiences for different reasons. And you may have been under the illusion or thinking there's some kind of mystery, or maybe your subconscious telling you, like I said, you're not good enough, you can't do something. Or you could be someone who don't have anyone around you, or maybe as when you were in your youth to give you guidance or instruction. But guess what? You can reparent yourself. That means anything that you have experienced that you are not in agreement with, especially if you are a parental figure, you can break that pattern in your lineage by being the reciprocal as a parent that your parent was. It is true that people work with the scraps they are given. Everyone is doing the best that they can. That's true. But instead of hanging on of what mom or dad did and I didn't like it, if you are a parent, a good thing to do is be the reciprocal of what you didn't get. Not spend 10, 20, 30 years or the rest of your life talking about who hurt you or they didn't buy you the gym shoes you worn. But did you live though? You're still alive. You're still alive. You're here. You okay? So you can be the opposite. Maybe you didn't receive enough encouragement. Well, even whether you are a parent or not, you can be encouraging to yourself, especially. There are people who do a lot of reparenting to themselves. It can be done as an adult. What you didn't get, you can give it to yourself. And those daily affirmations is one of those. Get in the mirror and don't be ashamed. Let's stop all the goofiness and let's go and start investing in ourselves and pouring in ourselves and do the work. With momentum, change will come. So it's here for you. It's here. Clarity and success is here. But to maintain it, to receive it and maintain it, you have to do the inner work. How many stories have you heard of people having good things happen and overnight it's faded away? This could be a lottery win, an inheritance. This could be a lot of things, a marriage, a business, and it fades. That's because sometimes the wrong thing gets put into the wrong hands. And when you don't do the inner work, when you are given privilege, especially, I would say, money, it will reveal and expand your true nature. No diddy. It will reveal and expand your true nature. When access is, and money especially is put into the wrong hands of people who haven't done the inner work, of people who haven't surrendered what was done to them back then. Or at least go get into some counseling. If you can do nothing else, because you may be busy. Some people busy. Get into some counseling. You know, especially if you got that money on, you can afford to hire you a coach, somebody you can have on payroll to help you. Like real talk, whether it's venting or something, you some kind of therapy. Okay. You don't want this to dissipate. I keep fixing the cards up. I'm about to mess them up again. You don't want this to dissipate. Look at all this. You got all these positive cards out here. Look at this. The 10 of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, and the Sun energy. You don't want this to dissipate. You don't want this to come and then it's gone in 24 hours or maybe a week. Because nobody never showed you, how to have a good rapport when it comes to your finances, how to be frugal. It's not called being cheap. It's called being wise and being smart. No one can obtain $1 million and keep $1 million in the bank consistently. They have to know how to invest. It has to be some kind of learning that has to take place. That's why people hire accountants, fiduciaries, people to assist them in investing their monies, what they have. No one is. You're not going to accumulate, and the decimal is going to stay in the same spot. You have to learn and be willing to learn, even if you're someone like, hey, I just came into so and so, and it's a lot, and I don't know what to do. But you got all these people around you want you to buy this and buy that. No. That's the wrong energy. If you're coming into somebody about to come to some money, because I'm saying this for a reason. The reading is turning. And all this money, these money cards out here, you're about to come in a large sum of money and you don't know what you want to do with it. The best thing you could do is, put that in the bank and go sit down somewhere. Go sit down somewhere. Don't start being anxious and just spending, purchasing, and passing out anything to anybody. And you should never have people around you while you're receiving anything. That's kind of distasteful. It just is. And it should pee you off of anybody huddling around you. Because if you're going to give someone, if you're going to share with someone, collective, you're going to share with them. Like, period. If you're going to share with somebody, you're going to share with them. Nobody has to stand over your shoulder. And nobody has to, monitor you. That's for somebody. Somebody about to come to some money. Don't be let nobody monitor you. Don't let them do it. Don't let them do it. And don't let nobody, you want to wait and get your mind together. Maybe you got an appointment to see your accountant. You want to do some investments. Don't let nobody rush you. Don't let nobody call you talking about, I need this down payment right now. Oh, well. No one should be standing over your shoulders about anything. Even on your payday, this could be a 9 to 5. Somebody have a family or somebody standing over them on their payday. This could be your check on the first of the month, the second, the third, the 15th. Don't be letting people stand over you. Yeah, that's part of the message. Don't let nobody stand over you. Yeah, what kind of income you get? Don't be letting nobody monitor you like that. If you owe them, they'll get paid. Don't let nobody do that. Ooh, that should pee you off right there. That should make you infuriated. Don't get mad though. Don't get mad. I don't promote anger or violence, but I'm picking that up. Somebody got somebody like won't like monitoring them, like won't leave. Like, they getting some money today. You know, like somebody might be sitting in the car out in front of your house, kind of energy. Ooh, wait. They owe me $5. I'm about to wait for that. Hold on a minute. Either that's going on or something I said, maybe somebody else going through that. There's something here in this read for you. There's something. Because even if it's not part of the read, if I say something, that's called a synchronicity. That's going on somewhere. That just came up. Somebody got some big money coming also. Don't be letting people spend the night at your house and they never want to spend the night. Tell them you will call them when you're ready to give them what you're going to give them. They don't need to be sitting around you listening to your conversations or nothing else. No, they don't need to go with you to go see your account. Nobody needs to go with you to the bank. Oh, this was somebody who needs to hear it. You are a leader. You're smart and wise. Whoever you are about to come into this money, honey, you do not need an army with you. Because when people know your business, it can get to the wrong ears. And desperate people do desperate things, collective. It could get to the wrong ears. And it ain't even got to be large. It could just be a rack. It could just be $1,000. And a person will get excited over that. Maybe it's your income tax. Maybe you get an advancement and folks all happy and flapping around you like little birds. And don't be letting nobody drink with you and get you intoxicated thinking they can ramble through your house either. That's coming up. It's part of the read. And I'm going to deliver. Yeah. 9 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, Page of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles, the Sun card, collective, and the Emperor. Somebody needs to work on their mind and their heart, and you need to ground yourself. Whoever you are, you just need to ground yourself. This is some money. This could be a large, what's large is different. $1,000 is $1,000, but I'm just saying, whatever the amount is, something about you grounding yourself and calming yourself down. Don't let nobody be over your shoulder. I mean, like treating you like a kid, like they don't want to let you out of their sight kind of energy because they know you have this money or they know it's coming any day now. Don't let nobody tell me they're about to spend the night and they want to drink with you and all. No. See, they know. Because the whole thing is if you have it in your heart to share, that is your prerogative. That is your prerogative. But that doesn't mean anyone have to babysit you like you're a kid and you're a grown person. It's really disrespectful and it can jeopardize your safety. I'm just going to say it. Desperate people do. I did not know that card was there. Desperate people do desperate things. And your information can get through to the wrong ears. You know how people do pillow talk? You know how people do that pillow talk. Boy, at the good climax or good euphoria, they've been and told everything. Oh, yeah, when they getting it. Be careful, collector. Be careful. Ground yourself. King of Cups. Woo. Somebody got some money coming. Nice money. Yeah. Everybody don't have to see everything. I guess because we're in a social media era, people feel that they got to show everything. They got to put the money by their ears, spread it out, show the world. You're a fool. You doing that? You're a fool. Yeah, I'ma laugh. You're a fool if you're doing that. I wouldn't be surprised if a fool card come out. You're a fool if you're doing that. Mm-mm. You're working, things are growing for you. You've been working towards this. You've earned this, or the goal is it's for you. The time and the things you have endured in this life, as this person is watering, male or female, these plants here, and the greenery that you see that are coming out of these pots, that is representing everything you ever experienced or endured in your lifetime. Whether it was being on a job you didn't like, dealing with people you don't like, circumstances, your tolerance, spirit saying your tolerance, whatever this blessing is, it is for you. Even if it's your income tax, it is for you. Then you work for that through the year. Like, oh, this obligation energy is bananas. Mm-mm. Yeah. Look at the lady in the middle. Yeah, I heard they got some money. What day they get it? And even if this isn't someone wanting to steal something from you or be nickel slick, this could be, just people, family or friends. Just, oh, I'm gonna go ask for this and I'm gonna go ask for that kind of energy. You don't need that around you. You don't need that around you. Like, no. Mm-mm. Like plotting, sitting up and talking about you, just plotting. Mm-mm. You can do what you want, but I wouldn't. Mm-mm. This is a lot of self-entitlement energy. Someone feels like you're obligated and you're gonna do what they say. Ooh-wee. They got a list of things for you to do, collective. They're gonna hold on to their pinnacles and come see what you have. Now I'm picking up someone calling you with different things, like, oh, I need to pay a light bill. I just need to, because they know you have this money. Somebody's getting some money. A nice piece. And folks is just all over you, like flies to ice cream. Ooh. Boy, oh boy. Mm. Be mindful, collective. Mm. Boy, I gotta get out of this energy here. This concludes the read. I trust and hope it assists you for your highest good. One love.